Today, Iran and Israel are seen as bitter enemies, but their story is far more complex. Decades ago, these two nations were unlikely partners. Their alliance was rooted in both ancient history and modern necessity. The Persian Emperor Cyrus the Great freed the Jews from Babylonian captivity, forging a bond that echoed through centuries. Fast forward to 1948, as Israel declared independence, most of the Middle East turned hostile. Iran, under the Shah, took a different path, quietly recognizing Israel. This was not just symbolic, it was a strategic move. Both nations felt isolated in an Arab-dominated region. Iran, a Persian monarchy, and Israel, a new Jewish state, saw Arab nationalism as a threat. The Shah viewed Israel as a modern, technologically advanced ally. Israel saw Iran as a vital source of oil and a gateway for trade and intelligence. Their partnership was built on shared vulnerability and mutual benefit. It was the classic, enemy of my enemy is my friend. For nearly 3 decades, this alliance flourished. Oil flowed from Iran to Israel, and technology and expertise moved the other way. The relationship was pragmatic, not sentimental. It was a calculated response to a dangerous neighborhood. This forgotten chapter is key to understanding the Middle East today. The roots of their cooperation ran deep, but the region's shifting sands would soon test their bond. What began as a partnership of necessity would become a casualty of revolution. The story of Iran and Israel is not just one of conflict, but of surprising friendship. And it all began with a shared sense of survival. The world would soon watch as this alliance unraveled. The Iran-Israel alliance became the backbone of Israel's peripheral pact. Israel, surrounded by hostile Arab states, sought allies on the region's edges: Iran, Turkey, Ethiopia. Together they formed a quiet ring of cooperation. Intelligence sharing was at the heart of this pact. Mossad and Savak, the nation's spy agencies, worked hand in hand. They trained agents, exchanged secrets, and coordinated operations. This gave both countries a crucial edge in a volatile region. The Shah saw Israel as a model for modernization and a source of advanced technology. Israeli leaders saw Iran as a way to break diplomatic isolation. The United States quietly encouraged this partnership, seeing both as bulwarks against Soviet influence. American support added another layer of strength to their alliance. The peripheral pact was never formalized, but it was effective. It was a pragmatic response to the threats of the era. The alliance was built on necessity, not ideology. It allowed both nations to survive, and even thrive, amid regional hostility. But this delicate balance would not last forever. The world was changing, and so were the forces shaping the Middle East. The seeds of upheaval were already being sown. Soon the alliance would face its greatest test. Iran and Israel's partnership extended far beyond diplomacy. Oil was the lifeblood of their relationship. Iran supplied, Israel depended. Together they built the Eilat-Ashkelon pipeline, bypassing hostile Egypt and ensuring Israel's energy security. Israeli experts helped modernize Iran's agriculture and infrastructure. Trade flourished, oil for technology, goods, and expertise. El Al flights connected Tel Aviv and Tehran, symbolizing open ties. Military cooperation ran deep. Israel sold weapons, trained Iranian forces, and even explored joint missile projects. Project Flower, a secret missile initiative, showed the depth of trust. The partnership seemed unbreakable, a model of pragmatic cooperation. But beneath the surface, Iran was changing. Discontent simmered, and the Shah's grip weakened. The alliance, once solid, was about to be swept away by revolution. The storm was coming, and neither side was prepared. Decades of cooperation would vanish almost overnight. The Middle East was about to be transformed. 1979, everything changed. The Iranian Revolution toppled the Shah and shattered the alliance with Israel. Ayatollah Khomeini returned from exile, promising justice and Islamic values. He denounced the Shah's ties to the West and condemned Israel as an enemy of Islam. Protests swept Iran, the monarchy fell, and the Islamic Republic was born. Israel lost its most important regional ally overnight. The Israeli mission in Tehran was closed, handed to the PLO. Oil shipments stopped, joint projects were cancelled. The era of friendship was erased, replaced by bitter enmity. Khomeini's regime defined itself in opposition to Israel and the US. The revolution was not just political, it was ideological. Iran's new leaders saw Israel as a symbol of Western oppression. The partnership of the past became a forbidden memory. The Middle East's balance of power shifted in an instant. A new era of confrontation had begun. The Islamic Republic needed a new identity, one built on resistance. Fierce opposition to Israel and the US became central to Iran's ideology. Khomeini's regime saw Israel as a theological and political enemy. All ties were cut, and support for anti-Israel groups became a priority. The Eilat-Ashkelon pipeline was abandoned, a relic of a forgotten era. Iran positioned itself as the champion of the Palestinian cause. This stance helped the regime rally support at home and abroad. Regional isolation and the Iran-Iraq War deepened Iran's hardline posture. Hostility toward Israel became a tool for legitimacy and influence. Successive leaders kept this policy alive, embedding it in law, education, and media. The past friendship was not just forgotten, it was rewritten. Iran's new identity was forged in opposition. The old alliance was buried under revolutionary zeal. After 1979, Iran and Israel's conflict went underground. Open friendship became a shadow war fought through proxies, sabotage, and cyber attacks. Iran built a network of allies like Hezbollah, arming and funding them to pressure Israel. The 2006 Lebanon War showed the power of Iran's proxy strategy. The Syrian civil war opened new fronts with Iran seeking a land bridge to the Mediterranean. Israel responded with relentless airstrikes on Iranian targets in Syria. The nuclear issue fueled further tension. Israel saw a nuclear Iran as an existential threat. Sabotage, assassinations, and cyber warfare became routine. Iran struck back with cyber attacks and plots abroad. The cycle of attack and counterattack created a permanent state of confrontation. The old alliance was now a distant memory. The region was locked in a dangerous, high-stakes rivalry. The shadow war continues, shaping the Middle East today. Today's headlines tell a story of endless conflict, but history reveals a different truth. Iran and Israel were once partners. Their alliance was shaped by necessity, not destiny. The revolution redefined Iran's interests, turning friends into foes. This forgotten era challenges the idea that hostility is inevitable. It shows that alliances can shift and enemies can become allies. The Middle East is a region of constant change. Understanding this history offers perspective and hope. It reminds us that today's rivalries are not set in stone. Leaders, ideologies, and interests evolve. The story of Iran and Israel is a lesson in geopolitical fluidity. Cooperation is possible, even in the most unlikely places. The past partnership was a choice, so is the present conflict. The future remains unwritten, full of surprises. History, after all, is never as simple as it seems.